Hey, it's Joe of Joe's Carp Adventures. It's Saturday, September 28th. It's a beautiful afternoon, and I'm out here at the apartment lake. It's about 4 p.m. Going to see if I can pick up a few late afternoon carp. We'll let you know how it goes. All right, the first thing I'm going to do, I have an idea of where I want to fish, but I'm going to put on my tie on my deeper and take a look around. I don't think conditions have changed much since the last time I was here. But I have an idea where I want to fish, and the idea of that is out there between that island and the left shoreline. The last several times I've fished there, I've had good catches. So let's get the, and I don't think conditions haven't changed much, so my guess is that would still be a good place. Another reason for getting out the deeper today is that I wanted to try it in narrow screen mode, because it's supposed to be able to read at a shallower depth, and since that area over there is shallow, I wanted to give that a try. Alright, let's plop the deeper in so it starts transmitting. Give myself enough slack so I can sit here and put the phone on its attachment. And I think I've showed this in a number of videos before, but I think they have a very ingenious system for attaching your smartphone to the rod. I've never had a problem with it yet. I can understand why some people would be very dubious about doing this. But it seems to be a very secure mounting system. Alright, let's get the phone mounted. Alright. Alright, let's get the phone started. So let's see what we got here. Am I clipped up at all? I'll make sure I'm not clipped up before I go whacking this thing out into the depths and it goes flying off, never to be seen again. Okay, why am I casting? I'm going to cast somewhere between that island and the left shore because I've had good luck there in the past. I want to see if I can get a scan on it. So, alright. This is my first cast to the left of the island, and as you can see, it's only 3 feet deep. In the narrow scan mode, you can actually scan water that's 3 feet or less deep, whereas in the wide mode, you can't. So this was a new development for me, but unfortunately, that area to the left of the island that I've seen many carp crashing in and had pretty good luck fishing in, at least under this particular scan, there wasn't anything there, as you can see very clearly. Alright, here's the start of another cast. I went a little further to the left, but the same area left of the island. And as you can see, it's quite shallow, and it's quite devoid of fish, at least under the narrow cone scanned by the deeper. There's what looked like some small bait fish, another cloud of bait fish or panfish or something like that, but nothing of any size. Alright, here's the start of cast number 3, and again I'm continuing to fan my cast toward the left, a little further left each time, just exploring that area that I've never been able to probe before, because in wide scan mode I couldn't even get a reading at this kind of slight depth. So I'm having fun just taking a peek and seeing what the topography is there. But as you can see, no large fish. Here's the start of my 4th cast. Again, a little further to the left, and there's a cluster of something, probably small fish or bait fish, and a few scattered smaller fish. There's some weeds coming up off the bottom. Alright, and here's the start of yet another cast to the left of the island, the leftmost yet. And again, we're seeing some more bait fish, small stuff suspended in the mid-depths. Okay, now here's my first cast to the right of the island. When I didn't find any fish to the left, I said, well, what's the point of continuing to look over there? And there's something in the screen there near the surface, but it doesn't look to be of much size. And you can see it's a little deeper, closer to 5 feet deep. Now there's something that could be a fish right there coming into the view. And some vegetation on the bottom. There's the end of the cast. All right, here's a little farther to the right in much deeper water, and look at there's a large amount of bait fish with what looks like a larger fish in there. Some more bait fish scattered up and down the water column. Perhaps a larger fish there, although the fish alarm didn't go off to indicate that. But at least there's some bait fish in the deeper area there. Okay, next cast is a little further to the right of the island. And again, as you can see, it's a bit deeper out on that side of the island. Some scattered bait fish, smaller fish, things like that. A larger concentration of what looks like bait fish. And there appear to be some larger fish in among those bait fish, which makes sense. The predators are going to follow the prey, so that's to be expected. And then as we continue this cast and we get closer in, you see what looks like in the mid-depths there a cluster of larger fish. Continuing on, it continued to interpret several of the other items. There's some additional larger fish. Alright, now we get into another cast a little further to the right, and again you see several things that are interpreted by the sonar as larger fish, quite a few. There's 4 in a row there. And as we continue through that cast, some smaller fish, some vegetation. And that's about it for that cast. Alright, I believe this is my last cast coming up. And I think I went back and revisited one of the places I had just previously looked at, and here's some vegetation and something that looks to be interpreted as a fish, what looks to be a cloud of small bait fish in the mid-depths, and some other fish possibly suspended. At any rate, I went back to that area where the most fish were, and I clipped up to that area and marked that. And it turned out to be about 40 yards out, and that's where I fished. Okay, that's a fish. Yeah, let's go ahead and mark it here. Yeah, all right. Toward that little sprig of a tree. There's a lot of stuff out there. All right. All right, so I found an area that seems to have a lot of fish. I've marked it with my spot rod. And now we're going to find out, not my spot rod, but with my deeper rod. And now let's see. Mark that distance. I'm marking 2 spots, 12 feet apart. Although the ground's a little harder now than it was the last time I was here. Hadn't been much rain. Alright, now let's take this and mark that distance. So, take my deeper and pull it up. Alright, here's 1 wrap. 2 wraps. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. So we're just at we're just shy of 10 wraps by a foot or so. All right. Call it 10. Now I've marked an area at 10 wraps with the deeper, lined up to that little sprig of a tree just to the right, or kind of a double sprig of the tree just to the right of the willow on the opposite bank. I know where I'm going to cast at least a couple of my rods. I probably put one back over there in the shallow area just for the heck of it, just as a off chance. Alright, I've dried the deeper off. That'll stop it from transmitting, using up its battery. I'm always impatient to fish when I get here, but probably would be better not to be impatient, but find a fish and fish to them, even if I don't have but a few hours. It's hard to do that though. Hard for me anyway, not just to start fishing where I've had success before. That isn't necessarily the best strategy. Alright. Got a rod here. I need to do some baiting with. Let's get my baiting device out here. Any carp fisherman these days knows what this is. It's a spom. That's a trademark name. Rhymes with bomb, like which it's shaped. And it's also a combination word. There's an old baiting device, which I happen to have one here. This is a spod. You fill this with bait, cast it out. This is buoyant, it empties it. That's a spod. That was the original kind of carp fishing baiting device. Then somebody came along with this bright idea. It's got the button on the bottom so that when it hits the water, it dispenses its contents. It's more aerodynamically shaped. It casts better than a spod, and there's less leakage. So this is a spom, and that's my favorite baiting device, especially when I'm using method balls. I can fit a big method ball in there. So I'm going to attach that to my rod that's dedicated for that purpose. Heavy duty locking snap swivel to prevent line twist. And I guess the next thing I've got to do is I've got to make up I've got to wrap this rod to 10 wraps. That's what I got to do. Let's start with that. All right. Okay, there it is. We flipped up. Now we can throw a bunch of bait balls pretty close to the same distance. Create a little area of feed. Hopefully get the carp feeding there. There's already fish in the area. We know that from the sonar. Alright, now I gotta make some bait balls up. Set these right there. I won't need that. Alright. 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 So, we put a bait ball in the spawn, we snap it shut, up a little bit higher this time. Okay. Alright. I'll line up to the marker. I pull it down. Alright, I was a little right. I see where I was. Well, I got a spot, got baited spots for 2 rods anyway. Let's see if I can get this one back on target. Stand on the appointed spot, arms straight overhead, aim and pull down. And that was good. Alright, I got 3 on one spot and 2 on another. Alright, we found some fish. We marked where they were. We've baited the spot. And now it's time to get some rods in and on it. Now, let's put some bait on. This is my courtesy of Colin Peters of the Carp Anglers group. I'm going to fish a puff on this one, right on the hook, maybe 2. I caught my first fish on a puff a while back. I'm going to keep fishing them a while. Try to develop confidence in them. So, get my puffs out. Corn puffs. Not wheat puffs. Just dump a couple out. Yeah. Maybe eat the 3rd one. Hello. Alright. Alright. I like the size of the smaller 2. Okay, there's my puffs. I'll eat the other one. Kind of bland, a little bit like popcorn. Yeah, that'll go down in there. Alright, let's get a little method mix on there. Pack bait. This is
Alright, let's just pin that hook in there so that doesn't tangle on the cast. I'll get out one other thing out of my bag of tricks here. Alright, we're just going to put a little bit of this quart of goo on those puffs, like so, just to goose them up a little bit. Alright, now cast it out. Did that do it? That did it. Alright. I'm clipped up. Let's go to the exact casting spot. Okay. Line up. There's nobody behind me. Everything's safe. Straight overhead. Pull it down. And it just hit the clip. Just barely. So, the thing I didn't do was feel it down. Okay. We can set this about right here, maybe a little higher. We'll do that. Let's just do it. Okay. Put this in it. Like that. This. Very gingerly. Bring it back there. Like so. Alright. Okay. One rod's in. Let's get another one. Panko oats is my favorite pack bait. I haven't tried enough pack baits. Huh? Something's messing with me. Alright, gotta watch what we're doing here. This is dangerous. Well, that was rather comedious, I'm sure, to any of you carp anglers, and that's alright. Things don't always go perfectly according to plan. But I do have a fish on here with, I don't know what kind of fish it is. Not giving me much of a fight yet. But catfish is my guess. Yeah. Is it foul hooked? I don't know. Like it's hooked in the fin, maybe. Alright, let's go see what we got here. No, it's just caught around the fin. That's alright. There we go. Alright. a little white catfish to start things off. All right, not much, but it's a start. It's a fish. All right, baby, go for it. All right. Well, that's nice. Well, you can even get the rod cast down. Another catfish. Ain't trouble telling. What do we got here? Another catfish. Alright, that's alright. Okay. Another pretty one. That's a little bit bigger than the last one. Pooping on himself. Alright. Well, I like those puffs. Alright. So long, little buddy. There he goes. Alright. Well, I can't complain that things have been too slow, because they've not been slow at all. I can't keep a puff rod out there. I didn't even spike it that time. It looks like something's trying to mess with that one. But we'll see. Alright. Well, 2 white catfish, and that's alright. That's a start. Ooh, that catfish pooped all over me. Ha ha, he got the last laugh. Look at that. Catfish pooped all over me. Well, what are you gonna do? Hey. That's funny. Catfish pooped on me. Sure did. Got me good. Got me good. Alright, well. Something messing. But nothing hooked, I'm afraid. I'm eating my puff off. Something's sure messing. I'll just go ahead and take it. Was that the corn? Puff? I don't remember. Or is it just a catfish that's on there and he can't, he's hooked and he can't get that sinker? Let's see what's going on here. Something's on there. Turtle. Small fish. Now that is a channel cat.